Imagine a photograph. It's a family portrait from the 1950s, slightly faded, the colors muted by time. A smiling father, a mother with a gentle expression, two children playing at their feet. It feels warm, nostalgic, real, but it's not. The father's face was generated by a machine. The mother's smile is a composite of 1,000 other smiles. The children never existed. The entire scene, every pixel, every shadow, every hint of a shared memory is a fabrication, created in seconds by an artificial intelligence. It feels real. It looks real. But it is a beautiful, perfect lie. This isn't a glimpse into a distant science fiction future. This is our present. We are standing at the threshold of a new reality, one where the very distinction between the authentic and the artificial is beginning to dissolve. For millennia, humanity has grappled with the nature of reality, but always with the assumption that there was a reality to grapple with. Now, we are building machines that can not only mimic our world, but create convincing alternatives, flooding our senses with digital phantoms that look, sound, and feel just like the real thing. What happens to our history, our laws, our relationships, our very sense of self when we can no longer tell what's real anymore? The anxiety isn't new. It's a deep, primal fear, one that echoes back to the very dawn of philosophy. Imagine Plato's cave. Prisoners, chained since birth, stare at a wall. Behind them, a fire casts shadows of puppets, mimicking the outside world. To the prisoners, these flickering shadows are reality. They have no other frame of reference. When one prisoner is freed and dragged into the blinding sunlight of the real world, the truth is painful, disorienting. He learns that his entire life has been a lie, a pale imitation of the truth. Plato's allegory was a warning. What we perceive as real might just be a shadow of a deeper truth. For 2,000 years, this was a philosophical exercise. Today, we are not just watching shadows on the wall, we are crafting the fire. We are crafting the puppets. And we are all, willingly or not, becoming prisoners in a cave of our own design. The first great technological assault on reality came in the 19th century with the invention of photography. For the first time, a moment in time could be frozen, captured with supposedly objective, mechanical precision. The photograph was seen as a window onto truth. But almost as soon as the camera was invented, so too was the art of faking it. As early as the 1860s, photographers were creating spirit photographs, using double exposures to superimpose ghostly apparitions onto portraits of grieving families. People, desperate to connect with lost loved ones, believed. They saw proof of an afterlife, not evidence of a clever, darkroom trick. The camera, the supposed instrument of truth, became a powerful tool for deception. This art of manipulation quickly entered the political realm. In the Soviet Union under Stalin, as political rivals were purged, they didn't just disappear from life, they disappeared from history itself. Official photographs were painstakingly altered. Figures were erased from group portraits, their existence wiped clean from the visual record. A commissar standing next to Lenin one day would be replaced by a patch of empty space the next. Reality was whatever the state dictated it to be, and photography was its loyal, silent enforcer. Then came the moving image and the disembodied voice. Cinema created worlds of fantasy, but it was radio that delivered the next great shock to our collective nervous system. On the evening of October 30th, 1938, Orson Welles' Mercury Theatre broadcast an adaptation of H.G. Wells's The War of the Worlds. It was presented not as a play, but as a series of breaking news bulletins interrupting a normal music program. Reports of strange explosions on Mars gave way to breathless accounts of a Martian cylinder landing in New Jersey, followed by terrifying descriptions of heat rays and rampaging alien war machines. A significant portion of the American public, tuning in late, missed the introduction and believed they were listening to a real invasion. Panic ensued. Phone lines were jammed. People fled their homes. A radio broadcast, a work of pure fiction, had successfully hijacked reality for thousands, proving that what we hear can be just as powerful and just as deceptive as what we see. For decades, these manipulations, while powerful, required immense skill, resources, and time. Retouching a photograph or creating convincing special effects was the work of dedicated artisans and powerful states. But then came the digital revolution, and the tools of reality bending began to democratize. With the advent of software like Photoshop, anyone with a computer could become a casual manipulator of images. The phrase, "it's photoshopped," entered our lexicon as a cultural shorthand for skepticism. We learned as a society to distrust the still image, but we still held a deep-seated trust in the moving image. A video, we thought, was different. It was harder to fake. It was evidence. That assumption is now crumbling. The force behind this new reality collapse is artificial intelligence, specifically a technology known as generative adversarial networks, or GANs. Imagine two AIs locked in a relentless duel. One is the forger, tasked with creating fake images, say a human face. The other is the detective, tasked with spotting the fakes. In the beginning, the forger is terrible, creating distorted, nightmarish blobs. The detective easily spots them. But the forger learns from its mistakes. It tries again and again, millions of times per second, getting progressively better. The detective, in turn, gets better at spotting more sophisticated fakes. This digital arms race continues at an exponential pace until the forger becomes so skilled that its creations are statistically indistinguishable from reality, fooling not just the detective AI, but human eyes as well. This isn't science fiction. This is the engine behind the website "This Person Does Not Exist," which can generate an endless stream of perfectly convincing, utterly fake human faces. The same principle is behind the rise of the deepfake. The term itself, a portmanteau of deep learning and fake, sounds almost quaint for the power it represents. We've all seen the playful examples: an actor's face swapped onto others in a famous movie scene. It seems harmless fun, a new form of digital puppetry, but the implications are profoundly dark. Imagine a world leader, their face and voice perfectly mimicked, appearing in a video declaring a preemptive nuclear strike. The video goes viral. In the crucial minutes it takes to verify its authenticity, global panic could trigger a real-world catastrophe. Or consider a corporate CEO, their voice synthesized in a phone call, instructing a subordinate to wire millions of dollars to a fraudulent account. This has already happened. The crime was so convincing because it used the ultimate form of identification, the trusted voice of a superior. The battlefield is no longer just physical, it's informational. It's a war for our perception of reality itself. We are entering an age of what some call truth decay, where the shared, verifiable facts that underpin a functioning society begin to erode. The consequences are cascading and catastrophic. First, consider our legal system. For centuries, a photograph, a recording, a piece of video footage has been considered evidence. But what happens when any piece of evidence can be plausibly faked? A defense lawyer could claim that incriminating video footage of their client is a deepfake. A prosecutor could be presented with perfectly fabricated exculpatory evidence. The very concept of beyond a reasonable doubt becomes almost impossible to establish when the bedrock of evidence turns to digital sand. How does justice function in a world without proof? Next, consider our political landscape. Democracy depends on an informed citizenry making decisions based on a shared set of facts. What happens when political campaigns can generate fake videos of their opponents saying inflammatory things, or create armies of AI-generated supporters on social media, creating the illusion of a grassroots movement? The danger isn't just that we'll believe the lies. The greater danger is a phenomenon called the liar's dividend. It's the moment when, because we know anything can be faked, we start to believe that nothing is real. When a politician is caught on tape saying something genuinely damaging, they can simply dismiss it as a deepfake, and their supporters, primed for skepticism, will believe them. This leads to a society where we no longer debate facts, we retreat into tribal realities, believing only what confirms our existing biases. This is the epistemic fog in which democracy suffocates. But the most intimate, most terrifying frontier of this new reality is personal. Scammers are already using AI voice cloning technology to mimic the sound of a loved one in distress. Imagine receiving a call from your child, their voice filled with panic, begging for money to get out of a desperate situation. It sounds exactly like them. Every inflection, every nuance is perfect. Your protective instincts kick in, but it's not them. It's a machine, exploiting your deepest emotional bonds.
This technology tears at the very fabric of human trust. The video call from a deployed soldier to their family, the audio message from a distant relative. These moments of connection, mediated by technology, become vulnerable points of attack. The question, "Is it really you?" becomes a devastatingly real and necessary part of our interactions. This isn't just a societal problem, it's a deeply personal one, turning our most cherished relationships into potential vectors for deception. And what of our own past? Our memories are already fallible, shaped and reshaped over time. Now, our digital records, our photo albums, our home videos, are also becoming malleable. It's now possible to insert a person into an old family video, or alter a photograph to create a memory of an event that never occurred. We could, in theory, rewrite our own personal histories, curating a past that is more pleasant, more heroic, but ultimately false. When our digital past is as editable as a text document, what does that do to our sense of a continuous, authentic self? It's tempting to see this as a purely dystopian future. But like any powerful technology, AI also offers incredible, even beautiful possibilities. Historians are using AI to colorize old black and white footage, bringing the past to life with breathtaking vibrancy. Filmmakers are using it to de-age actors, allowing them to play younger versions of themselves with stunning realism. Artists are collaborating with AI to create entirely new forms of visual expression, generating fantastical landscapes and impossible architecture. We could even use voice synthesis to allow people who have lost their ability to speak to communicate in their own familiar voice once more. AI can be a tool for creation, for restoration, for connection. It can be used to build new realities, not just to fake the old one. The race is now on. As the tools for generating fake content become more powerful and accessible, so too do the tools for detecting it. Researchers are developing AI systems trained to spot the subtle, almost imperceptible flaws in deepfakes. The unnatural blinks, the strange lighting artifacts, the oddities in blood flow simulated on a human face. This has created a new kind of technological arms race, a perpetual battle between the forger and the detective, between creation and verification. Some propose embedding digital watermarks into all authentic media, or using blockchain technology to create an unalterable record of a file's origin. But technological solutions may not be enough. The forgers will likely always be one step ahead. The ultimate defense against this new reality may not be in our machines, but in ourselves. We are being forced, as a species, to evolve, to cultivate a new kind of critical thinking, a new level of media literacy. We must learn to approach the digital world with a healthy, active skepticism, to constantly ask, who created this? Why are they showing it to me? What is the original source? We may need to relearn how to trust, grounding it not in the fleeting evidence of our screens, but in more durable human qualities, reputation, consistency, and community verification. We may have to treat the digital world as Plato treated his cave, as a realm of shadows, fascinating and useful, but not to be mistaken for the unfiltered, complex, and often difficult truth of the real world. The AI reality is not coming, it is here. It is the uncanny valley made manifest, the philosopher's thought experiment turned into a global social experiment. We are all participants. The story of our relationship with reality has been one of constant negotiation, from oral histories to written words, from paintings to photographs, from radio plays to deep-fake videos. With each new technology, we have had to renegotiate our definition of truth. But this time feels different. The scale, the speed, and the accessibility of AI-generated content represents a quantum leap. The question isn't settled, and perhaps that's precisely where its hidden history lies, in its ongoing, ever-shifting, deeply human exploration. We are being challenged to redefine our relationship with truth itself, in a world where the very act of seeing or hearing is no longer believing, and our ability to navigate this new reality will determine the future we collectively build or the one we allow to be built for us.
The questions we've explored today about our new AI reality don't have easy answers. They are part of the unfolding story of humanity's relationship with technology and truth. If you believe these conversations are essential, and you want to continue exploring the unseen forces that shape our world, then consider subscribing to Ages Unseen. Like this video if it made you think, and join us on our next journey into the hidden histories that define us.